This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to Teach Me Pokemon, the podcast. I'm your host, Corey, and along with my co-host, Jared, we're best friends, been playing Pokemon for a very long time. Oh, man, that intro, Jared, still gets me going. I know as listeners, everyone's heard that intro. We just hadn't heard it all the time. My name's Corey, my co-host, Jared. I got my competitor badge for NAIC 2025. I'm already registered. Just so okay, maybe not. But I'm just wearing, I don't know what this is. This is from I think this is from NAIC last year. How you doing, dude? Doing okay?
Good, yeah. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. I know we did take a little break. You know, don't shoot the messenger, but we took a little couple weeks. Jared, it's felt like we haven't recorded in 5 months, but really it's been just like 2 weeks.
It has, and the competitive scene has been at a standstill, minus some local stuff that's just now picking back up. But Corey, it is, as we're going to talk about a little bit in our education today, it's okay to take a break sometimes, and sometimes it's needed. And I feel energized and ready to do big things in 2025 in the Pokemon world.
Man, I think the Pokemon world has some big things coming. The game just keeps taking steps and growing, which is great. We, as a show, are going to take some big steps in growing. You know, you have a new studio coming up very, very soon. You know what? You've inspired me. I might try to get a new studio. I don't know. I thought about it. I don't want to be left out. So we'll see. I won't say anything quite yet about it, but who knows? That might be coming. But I will start with, I'll kick us off here. Even though we haven't recorded, we've been working. And this is a job, Jared. Teach Me Pokemon is a job. And I've been behind a desk grinding. And so I'd like to show you my work. We've been frustrated that there's no leaderboard in this new ELO system that we have on Pokemon Live, which is great. I'm not down on it. Thank goodness we have something to kind of shoot for as we play in the ranked ladder. You are at 1,500 now. You got to the Arceus League.
Yep, I'm somewhere I think I've played 30 odd games, and I get up to 1550, and then I get down to 14, then I get up to 50.
You got the yo-yo going. Are you on Gardevoir? Are you
no? I gave up on Gardevoir. There's just too much at stake, Corey. There's too much. I'm back to Goldingo, Togekiss. It's where I feel most comfortable. If I'm listening to our old advice,
sure.
I tried it. It's cool. I see why but I don't know. It's not for me.
Okay. Well, regardless of what's for you or not for you, once you get to this 1,500, you can start ranking up. In reality, it's like, you know, if you play someone with a lower ELO than you don't get as much ELO if you win. You lose more if you lose. If you play someone higher than you get more ELO if you win. You don't lose as much if you lose, yada, yada. In retrospect, you're gaining pretty much 9 to 15 ELO for wins. And that's about how much you lose too. So that's kind of how the system works. Okay?
Streak bonus is still good in upper ELO as well.
Streak bonuses do matter. So it is when you get on that 3, 4, 5 game win streak. You know, at that point, if your wife's yelling at you to do something, you just don't do it. You know, the stakes are a little higher at that point. So, okay, here we go. Here's my sheet. Here's our leaderboard, Jared. So I have, this didn't have the numbers on it. So there are about 205 entries thus far.
Wow.
And I have, I think, 40 more that I need to input. And so what I do is, if I have met you more than once, I just put the new ELO next to your name there. So if we take Scatterotus, is that how you say that name there?
Sakaritos?
Yeah. So first time we met on the ladder, this person was at 1589. Next time I met them was at 1602. Things that I'll try to get better at. I do not have the dates in which I played you on here. So that's frustrating. I don't know. I don't let you know if I won or lost. I thought about that earlier today. I thought that might have been a fun addition to this. And maybe I haven't played you in a while. The thing that does hold this back a tad, although I try my best to do very well, is, the more I rank up, then I meet the higher players. So if you're sitting there at like 1900, which I don't know if there are that many people at 1900, we haven't met yet. I haven't gotten that high. Okay. But 18, 20 was about my highest that I've hit so far. And you can see some of the 1811s, 1890s, 1870s. So Aaron, 1610, when we played, which was about a week and a half ago, you've been the highest so far. So Aaron, I don't know. Maybe you're lower, maybe you're higher, but right now they're winning the leaderboard, Jared, on the ELO battle. So
I like it. And where are you? Where are you in all of this?
Oh, I don't know how to track myself all the time.
But standing today, where are you, Elo?
I'm at 1715 right now, as we stand right now. So yeah, I was on a lot of Gardevoir, a lot of mirror matches, not much fun. Then I just go to my tried and true Cloth Terapagos and try to get a cheeky win. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, people. I go first and I try to just win because I got a lot of these to grind through. But then, Jared, you know what I did? And it's getting a little hot where I'm at right now because I might have sold my soul. And I've been playing Reggie Drago because I just got tired. I got tired. And it's good. It's a good deck. I will say I lost my first 3. 2 of them I ran out of cards in my deck because it does go through a lot of cards very quickly. But yeah, I think I've won like 3 in a row, so I'm climbing back up again. So that's where I'm at right now. So this resets, I think, tomorrow. I think we have 2 more days. We're recording this on Monday, January 13th. So it's been a fun ride. I've enjoyed being able to, track where people are at. I think this is fun. I hope this pushes Pokemon to be like, dude, let's not have this guy do a shoddy version of this. Let's actually do a leaderboard. Which would be really cool. So that's what I've learned so far in the ELO grind of the of Pokemon. I don't know. Any other thoughts here before we wrap it up?
No, this was great. I like your addition. I would love to see a date played. I'd love to see whether you got the win or the loss. And I'm with you 100% in your purpose for this. I hope this inspires a public, regularly updated leaderboard. Because I think people online, especially now with the advent of Pocket, I feel like people want to collect on Pocket and they want to play on Live. That's not true of everybody, but that's how I feel. I love collecting on Pocket. The cards on Live match what's in real life, so I'd rather collect in real life there. So really all that it's there to do is mimic the actual meta and allow me to play competitively in the actual TCG.
For sure, yeah. Okay. I did think of 2 notes. One, my rival thus far has been Yendar 0127.
Yeah, y'all been going at it.
Well, we played 3 matches in a row, and if you look at the ELO, you'll know who won all 3. So just wink, wink. But you know what? It does become a pain, and now this is like first world problems. But it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to queue into a match when you're at like 1750 or higher. It does take a minute. And what I sometimes I don't have 5 minutes. Like I got to get into a game. And so then I'll cancel, so that's the only bummer. Is it takes a little bit longer. But
we down here at the 1500s, we queue very quickly. We don't have to really have those problems. So I'm so sorry for your issues up at the top there.
That's what we do. But I gotta finish at least 1800. That's the goal. That's the goal for today and tomorrow. So, all right, that's the ELO update.
Love it.
From
excellent work.
Yeah, teach_me Pokemon. Find me, friend me.
Throw down, take his ELO down in an actual match, or become a victim to him. Well, Corey, I know you also mentioned we're going to talk about the big tournaments that are upcoming here in a little bit, but you also mentioned there are some results coming in from some cups around the world. Do you have an update on what you're seeing in those?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick update. There were let's see, January 5th. So this would have been last weekend, about 8 days ago. There were a lot of City League matches or tournaments in Japan. Again, we've talked about this a lot on our show. The Japan just plays uh, different. Well, they have different cards a little bit, mainly the Badu, the one that item locks, but they just have different play styles. There's no Reggie Drago in any of these top wins over here. And Jared, it is legal in Japan. Okay, I know you had some questions before. There might have been times on the show where we have messed up that before for mainly like large tournaments. We're like, oh, this is legal, and it's not. Reggie Drago is a legal card in Japan. It's just not played. So some of the winners, I think Dragon Bolt just is a lot more popular in Japan. And with the Badu being able to item lock, I think that's a nice additional card that can be thrown into Dragon Bolt. So I think that's what makes it just that, amongst the fact that it's a great card and takes a lot to take it down, blah, blah, blah. Gardevoir, always a very popular one over there. I did kind of like this. There was a build there. They like the 3 Monkey Dories for sure. Japan is a lot of US is a 2 Monkey Dory build. Japan goes for 3. They like that. Moving. Yeah, they like moving the damage counters around. But I will say the deck they love the most, which I'm not saying is winning, but I want to get your thoughts on. I mean, it won a few tournaments, but it's just all over the top 8s. Is Cerulege and then the V-Star Palkia. Have you played against this online?
I've played against this so much. Like,
yeah,
I cannot even describe how much I've played against this deck in that 1500 to 1550 ELO.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. What they're trying to do is give that deck options. Because if you've ever played Cerulege and they have anywhere near of a decent start, whether they go first or second, they're usually half of their deck is filtered through at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the mindset here is, okay, the deck was already running Radiant Greninja to help get the energy in the discard pile, draw cards. And now they're throwing the Palkia in there, in my opinion, for 2 reasons. Number one is they want to give themselves a look into the mirror match, right? Because it's very easy with Palkia's V-Star to get energy back on it. So if you have just the basic Palkia V on your bench, your opponent always has to respect the return knockout. If there's at least 1 water energy in your discard pile, they have to respect the return knockout. The other thing is, because they're moving through so many cards, because they're running stretchers, you now have to respect the snipe knockout. And that's brutal for decks that want to set up like Gardevoir, like Dragapult. It forces this Manaphy play, and it comes quick. It comes quick. If they go first and they can get that Palkia down, once again, you have to respect a Radiant Greninja laydown in evolution, and now you're on the back foot, and it keeps getting stronger, right? The Cerulege just keeps getting stronger throughout the game. So It's not perfect, but I see why it's run, and it does seem to flow pretty well.
Yeah, no, I would 100% agree with you. I thought this was a cool adaptation to it. I think the Greninja is the sole reason why. I think the Cerulege has some problems with trades, especially early on, and being able to get the snipes on the lower Pokemon, and just another a threat. Like Cerulege always used to kind of feel just like this freight train on a train track, and only can go straight at you, and that's it. Now it's like, well, I can hop off the track a little bit if I need to do that or do this or that, and so the sniping ability is cool. I think and I know Palkia. We're going to talk about this here in a minute. But I think if you were a new player coming up, or a parent trying to get your kids involved, these 2 decks, the Cerulege and the Archelodon, are going to be around for a while, and they're doing very well in Japan. The Archelodon is too, and they're both just really fun decks in different ways. Now the Cerulege problem is Greninja's rotating, Palkia's rotating. So then instead of having these pivot options, it turns back into a freight train again.
Right.
But if I were a new player and you're listening to this show, this podcast, and you're like, oh, I want to get into it, at Christmas we got cards, whatever, I would go with these 2 decks. I think Archelodon and Cerulege are good enough to win you cups and league challenges right now, but they're going to be around for a couple years, and so you're not having to replenish cards and teach your kids new decks. And I would imagine, you being a dad that has a son that plays, that's probably got to be a good thing, right? So you don't have to teach your kiddo a brand new deck every rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here in the Downhauer household, we try to compete, but we always want to play something that we enjoy
Yeah,
because just grinding at something isn't really super fun for us.
sure.
So we don't have that Corey Dickman blood in us
You got to
where
grind, baby.
we can just play Gardevoir into Gardevoir just again and again and again. We just don't have that. We don't have that, and we don't have that in us. But yeah, I agree. These are going to be archetypes moving forward. And the fun thing is both these cards came out at the same time, and it feels like Pokemon did a good job of balancing them against each other. So neither one, when done correctly, can knock out the other one unless certain other Pokemon are in play. I'm specifically talking about the Relicanth for Duraludon or
Sure.
Archludon. So yeah, I think these are going to be fun moving forward. I'm excited to see how they play out. But that does play into what we want to talk about next, which is rotation.
Oh, it's so sad.
So
There's sometimes, Jared, I'm happy for these rotations. I don't know if I am on this one.
I am, because what is going to be really interesting about this rotation is we're going to see prismatic evolutions come out before this rotation, and I think we'll see one more set hit right about the same time as the rotation. But Pokemon announced officially on their website on the 9th that all cards that are labeled F regulation mark will no longer be playable, and this is going to be as of April 11th. And we're going to talk about what that means as we look at the tournament schedule here in a little bit as well. But there's some hitters, and we're going to do another episode in the future as we get closer to rotation, talking about the biggest things that are leaving and what we're looking about. But you just have to be aware of that as like your friend approaches you in March and is like, hey, you want my Reggie Drago deck? Like, give you a good deal on it. And you're like, whoa, that's good. That's
I have the world's deck that should have won. I'll trade you for your Archludon and Cerulege. Okay. I'll meet you up on April 10th. How about that?
But it's 100%. Everything that is moving forward is all going to be Scarlet and Violet. Everything before Scarlet and Violet is gone with the same rules. If you're new to Pokemon, if there is a reprint of an old card in a modern set, you can absolutely use the old card as long as the wording is the same.
Yeah,
for this,
I 100%, and we'll touch on a few cards here, but I'm just going to start off by saying, and I don't think this isn't clickbait, Jared, but we're losing probably the greatest Pokemon card of all time, and it's Radiant Greninja. It's like the LeBron of basketball. This card is the most consistent. It's been in so many decks over its time. Now, has it won a lot of worlds? Well, that's debatable, right? It's not in a Mew deck, Mew EX, so it didn't win 2 years ago. It's not in Iron Thorns, didn't win last year. So it's like, does this have world titles on its belt? No. But this deck gets you there. It is, and it's in every deck, and it can be in any deck.
It is.
And it can attack, and it can attack. I don't know.
Plug and play in every deck. I think the words you were looking for was best longevity. It has so much longevity, and it never gets worse, right? If you're looking for something to stick in your deck to draw cards, and if you can run a water energy to a snipe, change the prize map, this has done it for a really long time. Greatest card of all time? I'm not really sure about that. That seems like it should be in more winning decks in order to, claim that title. But everyone's got a different opinion. But but the thing that stuck out to me is like we're losing so many legendary Pokemon. Like Arceus, gone. Lugia, gone. Reggie Drago, gone. Even Palkia, gone. Dialga, gone. Like it's like we're going back to the normies, right?
It is. No more of the god Pokemon. We're just the little people. And by the way, I don't know if a lot of our listeners are like college football fans, but Arceus feels like the quarterback that just keeps, and like, how many years of eligibility does this Arceus have? Like, Arceus, how is Arceus still playable? That card should have rotated out 2 years ago. I mean, the fact that we're now just going to lose it is obscene. And Pokemon will probably be like, wait. We'll reprint it. It's back.
And we'll do this again in the future, but just, RIP to the V-Star counter as well.
Oh, I know. See a V-Star.
See a V-Star. I'll probably still put mine out in competitive matches just to freak people out.
I put my GX counter out sometimes just for old, because that's what I have. So you never forget. Never forget. Do you think that's a mechanism? Because then they've had that mechanic for the 5-6 years, and like with where you could use one thing once a game, and that was always like crazy. It was like, whoa, that's a thing. Now that's not going to be in the game right now after April 11th.
I mean, you can make the argument A-Spec does a little bit of that, but you're right. You
don't need a counter. You don't need a counter.
100%. You just need to look through your opponent's discard pile. But yes, I think that has been what has made Pokemon so much fun right now, is when sets collide, right? So you're figuring out some of this old stuff with some of the new stuff, especially things like Forest Sealstone, right? Forest Sealstone being out of the game changes what happens with an Arven, changes what stage 2 decks are doing. So it's going to be a big shift. I think Pokemon is going to adjust. We'll see. I know Prismatic Evolutions is mostly going to be a collector set. There is going to be some viable stuff in that. And then moving forward later on into the first quarter of this year, we're going to see what they give us. But yes, I love it. And you and I first got started right when it was the end of, oh my gosh, this was years ago. But I remember the first tournament that we came, it was Haul-On. All the Haul-On stuff was playable.
Yeah.
All the cast forms and all of the cool stuff. And then, this new set was coming in, and we were living in this weird world, right, of things from both sets were viable, and it felt kind of funky, but you had so many cards to play through, and that's what makes it fun too, when you have a bigger library of things that you can open up and go to.
Yeah, no, that was like one of the parts I wish I could like remember, like put that feeling in a bottle and have it again when we started playing for the very first time. It's like Secret Wonders and Mysterious Treasures, and then we were like, wait, there's other cards that are legal from these other sets, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was like the game started all over again for us. And it was probably like 4 of those sets, I think, which is really the birthplace of the greatest deck that never won a title, which was Garchomp. Garchomp level X, and I could go back and find the old Gardevoir EX fire type that put in prison counters on your opponent's Pokemon that had abilities and they couldn't use it anymore. Like, just so good.
Looking back, for those of you that don't know, we got our start right as EX Ruby and Sapphire was about to be rotated, and we came in firmly at the beginning of Diamond and Pearl.
We did,
So that was our beginning.
Dragon Frontiers.
Power Keepers, Crystal Guardians, Haul-On Phantoms, all of that was legal.
Yeah.
And man, those were fun times. And just on the collector side, everything from that Ruby Sapphire set, man, those are some killer cards if you still have them in nice condition.
Oh yeah. Crystal Guardians. Yeah, Jared, how many rotations have we lived through? We've been through a lot of rotations.
We have been through some rotations, my friend.
That's how we should, as a society, like, instead of 8, like, how old are you? 36. You should say, how many rotations are you? Like, 11. Like, whoa, 11 rotations. Oh, baby,
you look great for 11 rotations.
You look really good. Well, anyway, this will be exciting. I know as there's some frustrations. I know you've probably been, playing Gardevoir and you're used to Kirlia, and, but as we know, Gardevoir, it finds a way. Gardevoir is like Jurassic Park. Life finds a way, and it will find, you think it's dead. It's not. It'll find a way. You think, how do these dinosaurs make more dinosaurs? They're all female.
Oh my
gosh. Life finds a way.
Oh, that was too good. I love it. That's what I've been thinking too. It's like, they're still going to play it. Like, they're not going to, Ralts and Curly are still out there. They're still going to play it.
Yeah, they're still going to play it. It'll be just like Ralts, Rare Candy, Gardevoir with like Xatu or something. Or I don't know. I don't know what the draw engine will be at that point, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
Gardevoir,
out.
figure it out.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Well, there is going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up this season. And I just want to take a minute and look forward at what we have coming out the next tournament. So we're excited. This weekend, we get back into our regional schedule first over in Europe in Birmingham. It just feels it's not a new season, but it's a new year. It feels like a new season. We've been on a break. So I'm really excited to see for all of our really committed players at home what they've been cooking off. And Corey, what do you do here for this tournament? Is the meta going to change, or do you look at a Champions League or the last big tournament that we've had, and do you make a decision off of that? Because we haven't seen Pokemon in almost a month.
Yeah, no, I think this is kind of fun. This feels like, the break we have between NAIC and Worlds, and we're like, nobody really knows when anybody's going to play. So I think that's kind of fun. I think the fact that it's an EU tournament, because European ones I feel like are always a little bit more all over the place. I could tell you Rio, Charizard. San Antonio, Regidrago. Like I already know. I don't have to see anything. I already know. But Birmingham, I don't know, Jared. I mean, people probably will get on what they feel comfortable with. I don't think there's a lot of play testing into new stuff because they don't even know what to counter against right now. So it'll probably be pretty standard. Your Lugias, your Regidragos, maybe some stall. Like Europe will run a little bit more control, I think. But yeah, I'm excited, man. What do you think is going to pop out of this tournament?
I really don't know. What we've witnessed over the past 2 years of really kind of keeping up with this intensely is like when you don't know, play something consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So there's good Gardevoir players in Europe. I could expect to see some Gardevoir. I think you're right. We'll see some Regidrago. I'm not expecting huge innovation, right? Since we're so close to, even if it's a collector set, some new cards coming back into the meta. By the way, they look so good. It's gonna be a dope set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping to be surprised, but I'm expecting more of the same.
Yeah. Give me Gardevoir. I like it. I'll steal your pick. I like Gardevoir winning and Charizard winning Rio.
Oh,
That's my picks.
okay. I like that. And you're right. We do have regionals going on in Rio. We also next week have something. It's a little touchy between you and I, but it is going to regionals are going to come back to the States. So not this weekend, but January 24th through the 26th in San Antonio, a tournament we wish we could be at because we played so much in San Antonio.
Oh,
when
so
we
much.
were in our earlier days. You have city championship wins, like first places in San Antonio. A lot of the crowd down there. So I know we're not going to be there, but that's going to be a really fun tournament too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this on the show, and it's for my own good, but I don't know who the tournament organizer is. I've emailed you probably 11 times asking to get me into the tournament. Just keep telling me no. Don't let me in. Don't even when I offered the round one loss, I'll take a round one loss. Just get me in. Just say no. For the sake of my marriage, don't do it. But I'll probably keep emailing. Just don't let me in. Don't let me in. So, but it is sad. This is I think the regional in Texas, either in Dallas or San Antonio. I mean, man, I've probably played in that. I don't know. At least like maybe 6 out of the last 7 years or something, or right? No, not that many times. 5 out of the last. I don't know. Even when we weren't really playing, it was like, well, but we'll go to the regionals in Dallas or in San Antonio. So, but anyway, that'll be fun. Be fun to get back to it in the NA landscape. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Nope. Totally agree. It's going to be fun to watch.
Were you going to bring up the Atlanta regionals happens the day after the rotation? Were you going to say that?
We are going to talk about that. So,
okay.
Let's look just one more. I want to touch on our internationals coming up because we do have 2 internationals. Europe in London in February. That's going to be super exciting. And then we do have North America back here in New Orleans in June. Maybe you'll see us there.
We're going to be there. We're going to be there. We're going to be there.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We going. Nothing's stopping. Well, there's some things that could stop us, but it's not gonna happen. I put my foot down.
We're putting it out there. We're putting it out there. It's gonna happen. But yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we get into our educational moment. Atlanta was a tournament that was not announced at the beginning of the season. We saw it announced at one of the regionals late last year. That's exciting for me personally because that's a drivable tournament for me, something that my son and I could potentially get to. But it's also exciting because of what we've talked about earlier, which is that's rotation, Corey.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your first tournament where, the old guard fades away. And what do you do on a more limited scale?
And it's fitting. This tournament was like added later. Remember, like the regional schedule came out, and then they're like, "Well, we're going to add a couple more," and then this one got added, and then the rotation date got added. It felt like this was kind of planned later on, which was kind of interesting. But I do enjoy these tournaments because this feels like all brand new. And for people that have been watching the region, I mean, there was a time, Jared, about a month ago where it's like, bro, we're not seeing anything new, and not that it's boring, but you do like the innovation. So I'm excited to see like what comes out of this set because it's not only the two ways to look at it, right? Is we're losing cards. So that takes away certain decks, right? That were always good. But the fact there could have been cards that were prevalent that made it impossible to run other cards. And now that those cards are gone, these other decks can maybe rise up. So I don't know. Greninja is the most threatening sniping Pokemon right now. I mean, Gardevoir has Scream Tail and stuff, but like Gardevoir or Greninja just is the sniping threat. Now that's taken out now. So it's like, oh, do you get threatened off the bench with 90 or less HP Pokemon? I don't know. Maybe you don't care anymore.
Let's talk about Manafi's gone.
Well, yeah. So you lose the protection, but you lose the sniping. So it's like,
I know, but it makes it very interesting, the dynamic. But I agree. I'm excited to see cards that are like B tier that now, because things are gone, bumping up. Hey, I'm with you 100%. That's what exciting. It's like, who's going to bust out the new supporter cards to help redefine the meta? Because that is going to be a meta defining tournament.
It will be. Probably a lot of Badoo. I think Badoo will be active by then, and it'll just be item locking. So everyone will be pissed. Yeah. Item lock. Sorry. So anyway, that'll be fun. I'm excited. Atlanta, maybe there's an outside chance. I don't know. Maybe we go. Who knows?
That would be wild.
I'm going to leave it as a possibility. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. Who knows?
We'll see. It's fine.
See. Cool.
Oh,
all right. Educate us, Jared. Educate us.
Well, today what I want to do is have a conversation that you and I were having a couple nights ago when we were playing and meeting about some other stuff. I want to talk about what I'm calling a stalemate in Pokemon. And I don't mean that in game. I'm talking about when you get burnt out on the game. And that feels weird going into a new year because usually New Year's, everybody's really excited about what's going on. There's a lot of energy. But for a lot of people, it's also a decision point on, do I want to continue on what I was doing at the end of last year? And you and I, one thing I want to make very clear is we started, like we said, beginning of Diamond and Pearl. There's people that have been way before us, but we have not played every single set. You and I have taken many breaks when either life dictated that we take a break or we were just burnt out on it. And what I want to say to people in the new year is, like, if it's okay to have Pokemon be stale. Like, if Pokemon's stale to you right now, take a break. Like, go do something else. It's not going anywhere. And when you have the energy and the space to come back and do it well, then come back. Your friends who are playing will still be there. Maybe you'll make some new friends, bring them along. But you should never feel bad about taking a break from Pokemon. You said to me the other night, like, if the ELO ladder didn't exist and the fact that I'm not getting to go to San Antonio, you're like, I don't know how excited I would be about this right now.
Yeah. That's the tough part, right? And I know at some point it probably will have to come to an end. I don't know. But then it just gets rejuvenated when you have kids playing. So who knows? But yeah, if you have to take a break, it's okay. I think the game will always it will continue to be there. And that's what the nice part is, from Pokemon versus some other card games where it's like these rotations do kind of allow you to take a break and then come back in and you don't feel like you're 3 years behind kind of thing. Is you can jump in. You could have not, you could be listening to us right now. Maybe you don't play, but you've been listening to us and you want to play. April 12th in Atlanta feels like a nice time to come back because a lot of players are going to be dealing with new decks, not just you. So I think that element of it is fun. But yeah, if you need to take a break, that's okay. I think the game is still a ton of fun to even watch and commentate on. But it's funny, even like players, this is a very small sample size, but you got like Kyle Sablehouse, who's come on the show numerous times, who was a great player. He doesn't play as much, but you know what? Now he works for Pokemon as an announcer, right? So he's still around the game. Michael Pramawat, it was so funny at the last tournament before we took a break. He was judging it. And it was like, he's actually been doing more of that this season than he has been playing, which is like, he's still around the game. Now these players are kind of around our age, so maybe we shouldn't be playing, but they're finding ways to still be involved. And so start a podcast and talk about it with your best friend. Do that too if you want.
Absolutely. And you've highlighted some of the strategies I want to talk about. Yeah, number one is exactly what Corey's saying. If it's the game that feels stale, stick around in the community, find a different role.
Yeah.
Find a different role. Like go help. Your professors need help at local leagues. Like go be helpful to them and still stick around. Go through a professorship. Learn to be a judge.
Yeah. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
And then I love Rudy. If he's listening, he's in Waco. Rudy kept the game alive in Waco, Texas, being a professor. He was a dad. His daughter played. And his kids just started doing other things. And so Rudy stopped doing it. And it died because Rudy stopped doing it. And if we in Waco had another one ready to kind of jump up and be a professor, it still would be strong right now. And we never have. And so it's like, if you think, well, we already have a good professor or tournament organizer, we don't need to do it. They need help. And who knows about their life? They might be needing to take a break, and then you step up and keep the flag, carry the flag and keep going. So
absolutely. Yeah. It needs, at the local level, Pokemon always needs support, help. That could be a great opportunity from you. Another thing is exactly like, don't play, but just keep your ear in. Keep your favorite podcast going. Maybe you watch a little bit of regionals. The other thing is you can back off without fully stop. Maybe you just go to league once a month, borrow a deck from somebody, say hey to your friends.
Yeah.
We've talked about this numerous times, and I think Pokemon's so strong about this. The game is the game. It's always going to be there, but nobody wants to trade the relationships that they've made. Corey and I could sit here for 10 hours and talk about some of the characters, friends, people that we have met along the last, almost 20 years in Pokemon. And there's still stories that we talk about today and laugh. But part of that story that we just want to be honest with you, there's years, plural, where we just weren't in the game, but we always knew it was ready for us to come back to. And the foundation that you build now with some of our other things is going to suit you well for when you're ready to come back.
Yeah, love it. And don't ever sell your cards. You're going to regret it. Just hold on to them. Put them in a box. It's fine. Don't sell them. You never know. You never.
It's too good,
even if they rotate, you just never know. So don't
sit on those cards. Sit on
them.
But that's it. We don't want to discourage you if that didn't meet you with where you're at. If you're excited, be excited. But also want to talk about, if this is the year to take a break for you, take a break.
Take a break and be ready to come back. So maybe when we are in our new studios, that's when you come back, which should be very soon. So who knows?
Very exciting.
Cool. All right. Hey, I'm glad we got this in today. This was good. We're getting in the rhythm, starting 2025 off strong, and meet me on the ELO ladder. Okay. Say hi. Give me a little thumbs up emoji. Don't spam me though. But one little thumbs up would be nice. So, okay, Jared, what's your pick? Mine was Gardevoir for Birmingham, and you can say that too because that was really yours. And then Charizard for Brazil. Where are you going?
I'm going to side with you on Gardevoir, and I'm going to say something crazy. Fire's everywhere, Corey. I see fire. Archelodon in Brazil with the dub. Here we go.
Archelodon or Ceruledge?
Archelodon. The fire's everywhere. It doesn't care. It can't be hit by fire after it uses its attack.
I understand. Okay.
With that Dialga,
yep.
watch out.
Watch out, baby.
Brazil.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right. Hey, we'll see you next time. And as always,
hold on. Hold on. Stray Collections still here in the new year. Throw up the banner if you can throw up the banner.
Oh my gosh, what have I done? I've ruined today's episode.
Stray Collections. We got a happy new year to Stray Collections. Collections with a Z. Still popping packs. They're gonna be popping some prismatic evolutions. You better believe that. That's gonna get wild.
That's gonna get wild with Stray. Both English set and Japanese. He's opening all of them. You get our promo code TEACH10 right there. TEACH10. He's a great. We love him. Thanks for giving us some cards, giving us the shout outs. Stray Collect. He does his YouTube videos, pack opening. Check out the store. I can't believe I almost forgot it.
I got you. But now I'm ready to wrap this up with you as we enter into the new year.
We will catch you later.
Catch y'all later.
You can find us at roguemedianetwork.com. Teach Me Pokemon Podcast. Come and dive with us.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.